Hey guys, Gaston with Rough Country, back with our 2019 Toyota 4Runner build. Now in the last episode, we added our 3-inch lift with upper control arms, as well as our Rough Country mud terrain tires in a 285/65/18, wrapped around our Series 90 wheel in bronze. We could stop here. The 4Runner looks great and is very capable off-road, but we're not gonna. Now our lift, wheels, and tires are the foundation of this build. They're gonna help us get off-road, giving us the ground clearance we need and the traction we have to have. Next on the list is recovery. You need good recovery points so someone can get you out of a situation or you can pull someone out of theirs. But ideally, you're gonna want a winch. We've got both with our hybrid winch bumper. You may be thinking, did I miss the episode where they installed the hybrid winch bumper? You didn't. Our shooting schedule is so busy, I handed the installation off to my man Tyler in R&D. He knocked it out and got it back to me in record time. And if you're like me and you have a busy schedule, we've got a dealer network across the nation that can install any number of Rough Country parts for you and get it back to you in record time. Now let's take a look at the bumper itself. This is a solid steel front bumper that's going to replace the center section of your plastic factory fascia. It's designed to flow and follow your factory lines, so it looks as good or better than an OEM piece. It mounts to your factory frame horns, giving you two much needed front recovery points, as well as a location to add any one of our synthetic rope winches. We're running our 9500S here, and for convenience, we've relocated the receptacle for our wired remote underneath the hood. Not only does our front bumper give us the recovery points and lighting solutions that we have to have on the trail, it makes the 4Runner look great. Not unlike our next accessory, which is going to be our Nerf steps, specifically for the 4Runner. Now these are a steel Nerf step, classic design, great looks, large stirrup to get in and out of the lifted 4Runner with ease. Now it's a simple installation. They're going to mount up in factory locations on the 4Runner. I've already got the brackets mounted to the Nerf bars, as you can see here. We're going to get the 4Runner up on the lift and get these installed. All right, that's one down. I'll knock the other side out, and then I'll show you what else we've got in store. Let's take a look at the lighting we've chosen for the 4Runner build. First of all, we've got our ditch mounts, which are gonna mount next to our A-pillars just past the hood at the windshield. For those, we're gonna add our 2-inch amber LEDs. Now the amber light of this LED is gonna reduce glare and is gonna scatter less than a typical white LED, all of which is gonna improve visibility on the trail. Plus, as a ditch light, they're gonna look really cool. Next up, we've got our LED rock lights to make sure we see any obstacle on the trail, day or night. And we're gonna control all of those lights using our MLC6 multi-light controller. Now this particular one is our universal controller, which is great. We're gonna customize it to fit directly into the 4Runner, and it's gonna look fantastic. The thing I love best about the universal MLC6 is it is a robust unit, very hardy. It's got easy to locate tactile switches that give a satisfying click every time you hit one. And again, I said we've got 6 channels. We're gonna use 3 of those. They light up so you know what is what. And under the hood, it's gonna clean up all of our wiring, giving us a central location to bring all of our accessories, tie them in together for a seamless, sanitary solution to all of our 12-volt accessories. Let's go. Our ditch mount bracket is going to mount right here, reusing these existing hood bolts. I'm going to unbolt them one at a time. I'll unbolt the top one, run it through the bolt hole in the bracket, tighten it up, then I'll unbolt the lower, swing the bracket into place, and rebolt the lower bolt. The reason I'm doing that is just to make sure that the hood does not move once unbolted. With our bracket installed, I'll simply put our LED in place. We'll go ahead and get that mounted up. I'll take our wires, run those underneath the hood, and we'll leave those for the time being. Now we're ready to install our MLC6 multiple light controller. We've chosen a spot here. It's got a couple of bosses that are already threaded holes. We're gonna be able to reuse those. We're gonna mount our control unit right here. Before we do that, we're gonna run our harness that connects our control unit to our switch pod through a grommet in the firewall. I've got a fiberglass rod ran through the grommet from the engine compartment to the interior. I'm gonna attach our harness and go to the engine compartment and pull it through. With our harness pulled into the engine compartment, let's shift gears. We're gonna disassemble our center console so we can get the tray that's below the HVAC controls out, because that's where we're mounting our switch pod. Once I get done, it's gonna look nice and integrated. First thing we're gonna do is remove the shift knob from the transfer case shifter. We're gonna reach up under here and give a tug. Now most of these panels just snap into place. We're only gonna have to remove 2 screws to get to where we need to be. And we've got our tray. And we're gonna mount our switch pod in this tray. It's a little too wide, so we're gonna make some adjustments to the tray itself and be able to drop it right in. All right, we've got our switch pod mounted into our tray. Now we're gonna run our harness to the center console. We'll plug it in, get it all put back together, and get under the hood. With our interior wrapped up, we're ready to install our control board for the MLC6. We're gonna mount it on this inner fender using existing holes from the factory. Once we get it mounted, we'll wire in the harness from the switches as well as the positive and negative leads. We won't connect those to the battery just yet. Once we've got it mounted and connected to the harness, we'll go ahead and run our wires to each individual light and connect those. With our ditch lights installed, we're gonna go ahead and install our rock lights. Now our LED rock lights are a universal item, and you can mount them anywhere you want to. Some people mount them to the frame, some people mount them to the floor pan, some people even mount them in the wheel wells. Now we're gonna mount them before and after each tire so we get the maximum lighting on the trail when we need it the most. And to accommodate that, I've whipped up some brackets, simple aluminum angle, cut to length and drilled with the appropriate holes. That way I can drop my light on, we can bolt to the bracket, and then we'll bolt the bracket directly to the frame and angle it however we want to. Let's go ahead, figure out the positioning of our brackets, get those mounted, and mount our lights. The MLC6 eliminated all of this wiring. Ended up using 4 of the 6 positions on the MLC6. Position 1 is for our DRL of our bumper light. Position 2 is for the bumper light itself. Position 3 is going to be for our amber ditch lights. And position 4 is for our rock lights. Now that the MLC6 is fully installed and wired up and we've got our switch panel looking right at home in the interior, we're going to keep that momentum of the interior going by installing our seat covers as well as our floor guards. Our 4Runner currently has an excellent set of leather seats, but we want to keep them that way. And like I always say, our seat covers are perfect whether you've got new seats that you want to keep looking new or older seats that you need to breathe new life into. Installation is very straightforward. They simply slip over and then attach using the buckles. Now we're ready to install our headrests, but before we do, we're going to take a set of our universal headrest handles, simply slide those over our posts, install our headrests, and now our rear passengers have something to hang on to on the trail. That completes the installation of our seat covers. Let's grab those floor liners. I wouldn't even call this an install. We're going to drop these in, but just like we protected the seats, these floor liners are going to protect our carpet on the trail. In round 1, we added our 3-inch lift with upper control arms and M1 struts to maintain a smooth ride on and off road. We coupled that with our Series 90 wheel in a bronze and 18x9, wrapped that in a 285/65/18 rough country mud terrain. And if we had stopped right there, this 4Runner would have still knocked it out of the park. But we didn't. We went ahead and added our hybrid winch bumper with our 9500S synthetic rope winch and our 20-inch single row Black Series amber LED light bar. We added our 2-inch amber yellow LEDs on our ditch mounts, 2 sets of our LED rock lights underneath. Our universal MLC6 was tasked to control all the lights, and even though it's universal by nature, it is right at home, exactly where we mounted it in the interior. And the interior is further enhanced with our neoprene seat covers front and rear, as well as our custom fit floor liners. And for good measure, we added a pair of our headrest grab handles. Now for everything we've added, we were still missing something. I couldn't quite put my finger on it, but now I got it. Now that's more like it. If you own a Toyota 4Runner, you know how good they are. If you want to make them great, check out our line of products. Nothing we installed on this 4Runner was difficult at all. I know you can do it, and if you can't, you can reach out to one of our dealers and they can take care of it for you. Either way, you can't go wrong at roughcountry.com. I'm not cleaning that.